So you can see the colors are out. How do you like my sweatshirt? It's been a while since I've worn this. The Christmas tree now protrudes over my shoes when I stand up. So my shoes are in the shade so my feet won't grow, but that's another story. But it's actually holiday season. Of course, that means Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed will be on television, and it'll just be a wonderful life. And along that theme, the Petaluma Museum has a big event that they'll be kicking off on December 5th. Called It's a Wonderful Life, and we thought we would get the story of what's going on at the Petaluma Museum with President Harry Newbor of the Petaluma Museum Association, and of course John Crowley. And so, good to see both of you here.
Well, it's nice to be in a great different location. We're normally in Aqus Cafe, but so delighted to be in the Petaluma Museum.
With this museum, it's a historic building, Carnegie building, and it's so much a part of the fabric of Petaluma.
Yep, a Carnegie Free Library from 1906.
So you're president this year and have been for a while of the museum, and I know that you folks have rotated that responsibility throughout the hierarchy of those that volunteer, and it's an all-volunteer group that puts together a lot of great nonprofit events.
Actually, this year we're going to have more than we have ever had in the past. We have a full holiday concert series. In addition to It's a Wonderful Life, a dance party, we have a complete program of classical music for the holidays. We have this marvelous art exhibit going on that you see around us, which will continue up until the 27th of December. It's a beautiful background for a series of concerts. The concerts start on November 29th with the Navarro Trio. That's a group from Sonoma State and a very professional classical group. On December 5th, we then have It's a Wonderful Life, this dance party that's just going to be a blowout. John's really making this thing go.
All right, we're going to go into detail on some of these events that you have, Harry, rather than just kind of go over them real fast, because we want folks to understand what's going on. But first of all, the venue. When you come into the museum, the acoustics here are absolutely spectacular. And I know that you've had a world-class pianist that has come back a number of times to play in a small venue that houses 100 people. And it's the acoustics as well as the people in Petaluma love to hear his music. I can't remember his name, but I've seen him a couple of times here. And he told me it's the acoustics of the building. He loves playing here.
It's Euro Margulis. He's changed positions a couple of times, but he's, I think, presently the music chair at USC. He comes up to play with Elizabeth Walter, who is our expert on classical music, and he was Elizabeth's mentor. Elizabeth also owns and loans to the museum this marvelous 1899 concert grand piano. And the combination of that piano, Euro Margulis, and the acoustics of this room is, I think it's up on a par with the concert hall next door up in Rohnert Park.
Euro Margulis is the key function there, because you could have the museum and the piano and David Glass. It wouldn't sound like much. All right, let's start talking about what's going on with the building. The point is that people could come for the building. The acoustics here are spectacular. Let's talk about what's going on at the museum, John.
Absolutely. Well, we're delighted to help put on this great holiday party. It's the holiday party, December 5th. I think it's one of the nicest buildings in Petaluma. Certainly the nicest venue. It's got that dome when you come in to the party. Have a look straight up. This wonderful dome. It's the largest lead stained glass dome in Northern California. Really quite a historic piece of the museum, and really that adds to the acoustics as well. So we've got a great lineup. We've got the Ted Langford Big Band on Saturday night. We're going to be hors d'oeuvres, cocktails. We've got some wonderful old-fashioned cocktails coming up. It's not quite black tie, but definitely a dress your best. We're going to have red carpets, candles. It's going to look really spectacular. This is the first time we're having it here in the museum, and we hope to have it here in the museum forever. It's going to be the party of the season. So everybody's going to be there, and I know unfortunately you're going to miss it, but everybody else will be there. So,
All right, let's talk about how you get a ticket for that.
well, you can get a ticket either at the museum or online at petalumamuseum.com, or you can go to Aqus Cafe, pick it up there, or go to aqus.com and get an online ticket there as well. So many ways.
I love the title of it. Were you thinking about the movie It's a Wonderful Life when you titled this?
Yeah, John was. He sure was. I got to throw in here that you better get your tickets early. There's only going to be about 120 spaces. This is a small venue, and we fill up now. So
Yes.
get your tickets right away.
Yes, it's definitely going to sell out. We won't be selling tickets at the door because they will sell out. So make sure you get them early and in time. So thank you.
All right, so let's put on the screen there how to get your tickets, and Kaye will do that. Kaye Chandler does a great job of volunteering. I think she's a volunteer in the community for promoting events that nobody knows. She's behind the camera. She edits all this stuff together and does a great job. But you want that on your calendar. It's Saturday night, December 5th. Plan to be at the museum from 8 till midnight on Saturday, December 5th, or it's just a wonderful life, and you'll enjoy it a whole lot, and maybe even George Bailey will come on out to see Mr. Potter, who's ruining the whole darn town. What do you think? Huh?
I think you're wonderful. You can do it. It's the same night as the Lighted Boat Parade, and as the Lighted Boat Parade ends, we're going to assume that everybody's going to come up from the Lighted Boat Parade and in their best.
And we'll look for that angel star out there on the lighted boat parade, and we'll that's what we'll do. Yeah. Okay, so let's.
It should have been on stage.
All right, so Sunday, December 6th.
I think maybe you ought to join our Petalumans of yesteryear. But,
No thanks. I might feel old enough already. Let's see, December 6th, 3 p.m. coming up. You've got some events happening here.
Yes, I'm just going to hold up this. We've got some great concerts. As I mentioned earlier, the acoustics here are just fantastic. And we've got some concerts and we've got some lectures. And I'm going to let Harry talk about both of those because he knows a lot more than I do about them.
we have a lecture series with Kaye Asbo. They're in their third Monday now, next Monday. Talking about, this time it'll be about Mozart in his later years. And then starting in December, a series of 3 lectures on Monday mornings on Beethoven. Kaye is an absolutely wonderful lecturer, discussion. She makes the whole thing entertaining. I know more about Mozart now after 2 hours with Kaye than I did from 40 years of just general interest. On the 5th, we have the dance party. On the 6th, we have a Renaissance music concert, early instruments concert. Coming up the next Sunday, we have the Santa Rosa Women's Chorus and children presenting Christmas carols. On New Year's Eve, we have our gala, our New Year's Eve gala, which is going to be the big deal that we've always made it. This time it's going to be followed by a Viennese waltz party at Herman's Hall after the concert. That takes us right up to New Year's, and we've never put together such a full program of classical music. And we hope that we're going to be able to do this now year after year.
So would this be then a double event where you'll be at the museum here and then traverse over to Hermanson's Hall?
That's what it's going to be. Yeah, you'll come in here for the concert. Our concerts usually end a little bit before 10 o'clock. We'll still sing Old Lang Syne because some of us are a little older than others. And then those who want to waltz the night away will head up to Herman's Hall.
All right, so I can remember, the times when I used to stay up till midnight, local time,
Not too
for
long.
New Year's Eve. But then you start seeing, I think I'm going to celebrate New Year's this year, Denver time, and then the next thing you know, you're in Chicago, and then New York, now I'm in London. Okay? So it's like, okay, I get it, somewhere they had it, good night. But it is a good time. I've been here for the New Year's Eve celebration. I've been here. Dorian Bartley brings in the Dorian Mode, and they celebrate Black History Month for the pianist that we talked about earlier.
Party.
The acoustics here are just spectacular.
It really is, and it's so wonderful to see the Petaluma Museum become really part of the community. Not that it wasn't before, but now there's so many different events that really have opened up to the community. We celebrated the Day of the Dead here about 2 weeks ago, which was a wonderful, wonderful celebration. The whole street was partying, dancing, and here was a great display of the altars.
3 bands, no waiting.
So yeah, absolutely. It was really, really great and wonderful to see, and Harry and his volunteers have really done a spectacular job this year of doing some quite incredible things. So do support your Petaluma Museum. This is the heart of Petaluma, and it really kind of represents and showcases what Petaluma is about. So I'm delighted to be part of it. I'm delighted to be volunteering with Harry.
So people that want to put it on a calendar, we've got December 6th, a Renaissance Christmas here at the museum. Music performed by the Festival Consort and joined by singers Carol Menke and Chris Fritchie, complimentary of the Wassail Punch. And always you get complicated pronunciations when you sight read something. That's just, so if I mispronounced anyone's name, my apologies, but you'll want to be here Sunday, December 6th at 3 p.m. and then Sunday, December 13th, 1 week later at 3 p.m. Also, you'll have the Santa Rosa Children's Chorus Christmas here at the Petaluma Museum. All shows are $20 with balcony seating that's very limited, and it's nice to be up there in the balcony, $25. So a little extra to go up in the balcony, but you never have anybody that blocks your view from the balcony. That's
true.
One of the things about it.
And the sound is even better upstairs. It really mixes perfectly up there.
All right, so there you have it from the folks that know.
Wonderful.
Anything else you want to add about those two events, John?
Just get your tickets early for all of these events, really. For all of those events, if you want to come, get your tickets now. That's all I can say.
This is a great town because you can support the nonprofits, have a great time, enhance your enjoyment during the holiday season, and really take advantage of the things that are here. I mean, there's a reason why Harper's Bazaar came to town and looked at Petaluma and said, of all the places in the world, this is the spot that you ought to go to. And you ought to do that. Those of you that live here, those of you that see this program, you ought to experience some of these things that we talk about because it's a special time of the year and a special place on the planet.
Yeah. One other thing that, again, is happening at the Petaluma Museum is an incredible expo featuring Petaluma artists. It's called Petaluma Artists and Artisans, and photographer Gary Kaplan, he came to Petaluma about 2 years ago and has gathered all the Petaluma artists together. He's a photographer, so he's photographed the Petaluma artists and artisans at work, and we're also displaying not only the photographs of the artisans, but also some of the things that they built. So we've got bicycle manufacturer, where we've got artists, we've got welders, we've got what else we have?
We have a violin maker.
We have a violin maker, a guitar maker.
Mm-hmm.
We've got quite an amazing array of things, which really kind of shows you what we have in Petaluma. This great depth of skill and artisan and just artists in Petaluma is just quite amazing.
You've got paintings, and I'm assuming these are local artists.
Everyone.
They're for sale.
Yes, everyone.
So people can support the local art community. And guess what you can find? You can find a painting that really struck me. I looked at it. It showed what it looked like when there was moisture in the air. Because I have a hard time, remembering what that looked like when it used to rain.
What's it called? That rain thing? What is it called?
That's the thing about art. It can capture things the way maybe they used to be and are no longer, but you wish they were. So
let's hope it's going to be coming.
I think we'll get some rain. Maybe even before folks catch this on the Petaluma Community Access Channel. What else is going on? You got membership.
Membership. Well, membership
Yeah.
definitely become part of Petaluma Museum. Let Harry say a few words about that.
Well, yeah. If you choose to become a member of your local museum, Petaluma Historical Museum, at the $120 level, which is the family level, Then, as a marvelous benefit, you get access to virtually every other museum in North America. It's called NARM, and I have a hard time remembering what that stands for. North American Reciprocal Museums, I think. In any case, with your membership card from here, you can go down to the De Young and you get access at De Young's membership rates. You can go over to the Legion of Honor, same thing. The MoMA, the African diaspora. You can go to Cleveland, and if that's your interest, you can go into...
I don't know why I would. Come on. Why would you go to Cleveland? You can stay right here in Petaluma. Kuiper will hate that.
Exactly.
Nobody will tell him.
All over North America. It's quite a benefit, and your $120 stays right here in town and just helps us to make this museum stand up and perk.
Absolutely.
Have you ever been to Cleveland?
I've never been to Cleveland.
Skip it.
But okay.
The ballpark there used to be called the Mistake by the Lake.
Oh, really?
I don't know why they just didn't call the whole town that.
Oh gosh. Okay. You're getting into trouble here.
Yeah, I know. There went the Ohio electoral vote if I ever try to run for higher office. You know, everybody else is running for that office.
Oh,
Have you
yeah.
seen that?
No, I haven't.
I guess I'd have to be a Republican to
Oh
run
boy.
with everybody
Yeah,
else.
that. Yeah.
But
that-
my
that
gosh,
makes me-
what a field, you know?
Absolutely.
The interesting thing is, oh well, no, we're going to talk about it. All right, so this is the egg basket at the museum, and I assume this is for sale. We've got an egg basket.
Certainly
Oh,
is.
Tell me about that.
Certainly is. It's just one of the many Petaluma authors that we feature in our bookstore. I don't have the names of them handy, but there are dozens of prominent authors right here in Petaluma writing about Petaluma and about other interesting things. You want to know about Petaluma history and carry it home with you, then come on in, take a look upstairs at our permanent exhibits, and then take one of these books home with you and find out about the Jewish chicken farmers who migrated from Eastern Europe to Chile, didn't like it there, sent a task force up to California, found Petaluma, and suddenly Petaluma had a chicken industry. Just amazing pieces of history in this marvelous little town.
And it's amazing the number of people that know Petaluma, of course, as the egg basket of the world. People know Petaluma from Two Rock Military Base. People know Petaluma from now the Wine Gap. People are learning all about Petaluma. It's interesting, and because it's a unique name, people tend to remember it. And so as I travel sometimes throughout the country and people find out I'm from Petaluma, they know Petaluma. I'm always shocked. I said, well, it's a little town just north of the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, yes, I've been there, I love it. Or people came back from there. You know, and look at even McDonald's featured Petaluma.
Oh,
with
God.
a breakfast commercial. I'm just saying, it's amazing.
Yeah, like all their eggs are local. Made of
Well,
Petaluma.
you know, that's a different subject. Could you see what that would do to the local industry if all McDonald's eggs came out of Petaluma?
That would be interesting, actually. So it would, you know, and not because of that, but I guess we were spurned at Aqus Cafe to just choose Petaluma. We have clover eggs, and they're organic and cage-free, and we kind of thought, well, you know, here we are in Petaluma. We should have the best eggs on the planet. So we do, and we hope that McDonald's follow suit.
All right,
And
yeah.
if they do, then can you imagine the egg industry of Petaluma?
The egg challenge is out there.
Okay, so that's an official challenge to
So let's see, the New Year's Eve gala we have talked about. What else is going on here that we want to make sure that folks know about at the museum? This is, what is this here, going on a boot camp?
That is Harry.
Yeah, no, this is
Okay, so-
this is an artist presentation, part of the art exhibit. One of the artists is an expert on color, has taken advanced classes from famous names, and is going to present a workshop on how to obtain the maximum color in your paintings.
Really? So that's the boot camp?
Yeah.
No physical pain?
Oh, no.
It's interesting.
Probably some some sticky, dirty fingers, but if you paint like I do.
Do they have a finger painting class?
I hope not.
All right, so that looks good.
That's great.
Yeah. All right.
Wonderful. Okay, I think that's from the museum's perspective. I think we are got everything pretty much lined up, Harry.
Yeah, so glad you guys came
Yeah,
by.
yeah.
Nice to get a chance to talk about the museum.
All right, Harry Newgore, president of the Petaluma Museum, with us with John Crowley, and John and I are going to continue some silliness and also about what's going on in the community. So we want to thank Harry for joining us, and thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for coming by.
Well, John, what else is on your mind today? He's got a devilish look. I'm sorry. I might be moving to Cleveland before I finish this.
You might not be welcome there after what you said, so who knows?
I've said worse.
Okay. No, I got a couple of calls about some inquiries about, of course, everybody's up in arms one way or the other about SMART. I think SMART's a wonderful idea. We need trains, we need more walkability, we need to get off single-user cars and get onto public transport. But bringing those kinds of things into our community causes disruptions, causes people change. Change is difficult. Some change is good, but it might be difficult. One of the things, though, that somebody's brought to my attention is the crosswalk. We call them zebra crossings in Ireland, but it goes across Lakeville, right across the road from Willoughby's, on the corner of D Street in Lakeville. And apparently they're removing that. And a lot of the people who live down in Midtown are concerned about that because they want more walkability and less, getting rid of one of these crossings is taking away our ability to walk and, essentially. So we're kind of wondering about that and what can you say about that?
Well, here's what I've been able to discover, okay? One is you're dealing with a couple of bureaucratic agencies.
Yeah.
And they trump local control. One is the Public Utility Commission,
Okay.
when you're dealing with people traversing or crossing a railroad track, and the other is the rail authority itself. And I think you saw an article maybe in the Press Democrat this week where it kind of exploded, and Supervisor Rabbit was quoted in an article in the Press Democrat as referring to SMART as bullies. So that's how you can wind up, things get dysfunctional in some ways, or frustration levels boil up, but you're maybe not able to achieve what it is a local jurisdiction wants because they get overlapped and trumped by other bureaucracies.
Yeah.
Public Utility Commission is going to take very serious anything that crosses those railroad tracks, because they're the entity that's going to hear it if there is a train, vehicle, cow, pedestrian collision. So that's part of what's going on. Inside of all of this, we are trying to create a walkable community, and where we have control, I'm very concerned about what happens with the future of the walkability. And right now, the biggest issue that is in front of us is the walling in that hasn't yet occurred, but conceivably could. If you look at the downtown project that would come on the SMART property, it's important that that project, when it is built with a corridor that will allow pedestrian and maybe vehicle access. I'm not as concerned about vehicles going through as I am pedestrian walkability through the middle of that parcel. That's going to be extremely important. So that's the walkability issue that right now I've really got my eye on, because it's something that is totally locally driven on our jurisdiction, and we don't have these other entities that will trump us.
So what do people do? I mean, we've got two issues here. One of imminently this crosswalk is going to get eliminated. Maybe it already has. I'm not sure what time of the day it is. But then moving forward, so what do the people who are very concerned about that, where should they go is kind of one question. And then looking forward, making sure that this kind of thing is that we can see the plans of what actually is happening to that downtown area or that midtown section before it gets into actually getting the diggers moving and the jackhammers out and stuff like that. So
what I would say is that the most responsive potential is probably coming from SMART itself. That they have public meetings, so you want to keep your eye on the public meetings. The City Council of Petaluma and individually, we've made our wants, needs, desires known. But the entity that has the closest to being able to provide input is smart, but even smart will be trumped by the Public Utility Commission. And you've got a rail that has a primary goal of moving up and down a rail corridor in a safe manner, and that's going to trump all of the other priorities and needs. And so that's the hierarchy and the structure of it all.
So it's contacting the Public Utilities Commission, I guess, would be the best thing for
I'm not sure how responsive they would be. I'm really not. I know that we went through a long process in trying to transfer an at-grade crossing that seemed to make more sense by providing the at-grade crossing that was going to come into existence and sacrificing the one that was there, which was at Hopper Street, and that was extremely difficult going through the Public Utility Commission. And it took lawyers, and it took a lot of back and forth. So I'm not sure. Sometimes bureaucracies are not responsive to what the public may want, because the bureaucracy itself has a higher mission in their mind or a higher goal of what they think is safety.
But it must be, it's then very frustrating for people who are impacted by these things that it's kind of nothing we can do.
That may be the reality of this.
Wow.
That may be. But what I would say is that if you want to try to do something, start it smart. Because then you're at least starting where something is local. They may be responsive. I don't know. What I think politically is that someday SMART is going to have to come back to the voting public for revenue augmentation. And I think they're making a number of mistakes personally in how things are playing out. And when you can see that internally, if you go back and look at the article in the Press Democrat between two members of the SMART Board of Directors, Judy Arnold from Marin County and David Rabbit from Sonoma County, and you could see that the two of them have what amounts to fireworks, if I can take email exchanges accurate. That just goes to show you that there it is.
Well, I know SMART certainly didn't make themselves very popular with the biking community. After suddenly the cycle path is now gone, and if they come back to the table looking for more money, I know that a lot of people, the biking community, gave them their support after the SMART said we're going to get a cycle path all the way down to the length and breadth of the rail. So we'll see what happens next. What is the next bond measure going to be? Maybe it is for a cycle path and cycle path only, and I'm sure a lot of people want to see that written into there, that it is just for a cycle path, or not just, but that it can't be kind of easily scratched off and said, we don't have money for that. So
well, and I think that they did deal with very real realities on shortfalls. That look, they had projections of revenue growth compounding on a sales tax measure, and the revenue declined substantially. So I'm sympathetic to the fact that they haven't been able to provide all of the amenities nor the length of service that they originally had envisioned with the revenue stream they thought was achievable. That's just an economic fact of life. But there's other stuff, the bureaucracies that come in. People, to me, the benefit of the rail was twofold. One is it allows responsible development to take place in a transit corridor. That we need the other piece of that locally. It's called redevelopment money, and we don't have that. So here we've got these plans, and you got the train coming to Petaluma, but we can't implement the smart growth strategies of achieving transit-oriented development, which would put us at the top of the pack in Sacramento for transportation funding for complying with something called Senate Bill 375. So we're kind of caught in the trap of the financial realities and the changing landscapes and how the rules changed in midstream. So that's a major loss to the advantage of the rail coming from my standpoint, as we are hard pressed to achieve what we ought to achieve with land use there. And the other part of it is we won't get the full service through the full route of it, and you won't get the bike amenities and whatnot that were legitimately envisioned and sincerely promised as part of that previous measure. So we ought to do everything possible to explain in the most bedside positive manner, if the answer is no, why the answer is no. And quite frankly, I don't see that happening, especially when I see news articles like was out the other day where one person from SMART, Judy Arnold, is quoted as saying sometimes the best answer is just no. Well, no with an explanation is maybe much better. Or no right now, but maybe in the future, here's how we can achieve it, might be most desirable. But
okay, it does fly. Anything last quick? I think that's it.
We're going to talk grass next month. I'm taking a class with John Crowley. We'll talk medicinal marijuana, okay? So that's it. Until next time, from the Petaluma Museum, it's been nice talking to you.